Welcome to Timeless Audiobook, Fever Beach, a novel by Carl Hiaasen. Fever Beach, a novel. Introduction. Carl Hiaasen has always been known for his sharp wit, quirky characters, and the raw beauty of Florida's darker side. In Fever Beach, he takes readers deep into the steamy, sunburned heart of South Florida, where crime, greed, and absurdity collide against the backdrop of sugar-white beaches and the shimmering blue of the Atlantic. It is a place where tourists come to chase paradise, but beneath the palm trees and margaritas lurk corruption, environmental destruction, and the kind of eccentric locals only Hiaasen can conjure. Fever Beach is more than a mystery. It's a razor-edged satire wrapped in a wild, twisting plot full of humor, danger, and unexpected heart. Fever Beach, a novel. Full summary. The novel kicks off on the sun-soaked shores of Miami Beach, where the tourists are sizzling, the cocktails are flowing, and beneath the glossy postcard exterior, Florida's underbelly pulses with trouble. Hiaasen introduces us to the reluctant hero of the story, Mick Stranahan, a former investigative reporter turned beach bum. Mick thought he left the chaos of his old life behind when he traded deadlines for fishing rods and beachfront naps. But trouble has a way of finding him, especially in the Sunshine State. That Mick's peaceful existence shatters when the body of a wealthy real estate developer, Richard Calhoun, washes up on the sands of Fever Beach. Calhoun was known for his ruthless development projects that carved up protected wetlands and mangroves to make way for luxury condos and sprawling resorts. His death initially appears to be a drunken boating accident, but a sharp-eyed detective, Loretta Sanchez, suspects foul play. The authorities want to brush it off, eager to protect the booming tourism industry. But Loretta has other plans. The police investigation circles the beachfront community like a vulture, and Mick gets pulled back into the world of lies and corruption. When Loretta comes knocking, their history is complicated. Years ago, Mick exposed a political scandal that nearly cost Loretta her career. Now, she needs his help unraveling the web of deceit surrounding Calhoun's death. Mick reluctantly agrees, sensing that this mystery is far bigger than one dead developer. Mick digs into Calhoun's life. The layers of South Florida's corruption start to peel away. Calhoun was part of an elite circle of businessmen, politicians, and shady contractors who profited from exploiting the state's fragile ecosystems. His latest project, the Fever Beach Resort, was already under fire from environmental groups who claimed the construction was destroying endangered wildlife habitats. But with millions at stake, those protests fell on deaf ears. Now, with Calhoun dead, Mick suspects someone finally took matters into their own hands. Hiaasen masterfully populates Fever Beach with a cast of unforgettable characters, each more colorful than the last. There's Tiffany Gold, a socialite influencer, whose beachfront Instagram life hides dark secrets. Her father was a close associate of Calhoun's, and her glamorous facade begins to crack as Mick investigates. Then there's Buddy the Barracuda Barnes, a washed-up ex-pro surfer turned criminal fixer, known for making inconvenient problems disappear beneath the waves. His loyalty to Calhoun may not have been as strong as it seemed. Mick also crosses paths with environmental activist Sierra Torres, a passionate marine biologist leading the fight to protect the beaches and reefs. Sierra believes Calhoun's resort was the final nail in the coffin for Florida's marine life. But she swears she had nothing to do with his death, despite her very public threats against him. As the evidence mounts, Mick begins to suspect that nearly everyone in Fever Beach had a motive to see Calhoun gone. The deeper Mick digs, the more dangerous the game becomes. He uncovers a trail of bribery, blackmail, and betrayal that leads to the highest levels of state politics. Calhoun's empire was built on the backs of corrupt officials willing to trade environmental protection for campaign donations and beachfront mansions. But someone in this tangled mess wasn't satisfied with backroom deals. They wanted blood.as. The investigation heats up. Mick finds himself stalked by hired goons, nearly drowned during a suspicious diving accident, and targeted in a smear campaign designed to discredit him. Despite the threats, he pushes forward, driven by a mix of curiosity, stubbornness, and his lingering journalistic instincts. Loretta, too, faces pressure from her superiors to drop the case, but her moral compass refuses to waver. Together, they form a reluctant alliance, navigating the treacherous waters of Fever Beach. Hyacin's signature humor bubbles beneath the surface, even as the stakes rise. The absurdity of Florida's tourist culture plays out in the background. From alligator wrestling shows to neon-lit tiki bars packed with sunburned vacationers oblivious to the real danger lurking just beyond their lounge chairs. The author paints a vivid portrait of a state where paradise and peril coexist in dizzying contrast. The mystery takes an unexpected turn when Mick discovers that Calhoun had been working on a secret deal to sell protected coastal land to a shadowy international investor. The investor's identity is shrouded in secrecy, but whispers suggest ties to organized crime and offshore accounts. The deal would have devastated the ecosystem and made Calhoun billions. But it also made him a target that Mick's investigation uncovers emails, offshore bank records, and threatening messages that point to the deal as the motive for murder. But when the evidence starts disappearing and witnesses suddenly recant their stories, it's clear that powerful forces are determined to keep the truth buried. Even Sierra, the idealistic activist, seems to be hiding more than she admits. Tensions come to a head during a lavish gala at the nearly completed Fever Beach resort, hosted by Tiffany Gold to honor her late father's business partner. The guest list includes politicians, celebrities, and the elite of South Florida's high society. Mick infiltrates the event, posing as a clueless tourist, and uncovers a damning recording of Calhoun discussing the illegal land deal with his associates. But before Mick can expose the truth, chaos erupts that a sudden explosion rocks the resort, sending guests fleeing as flames engulf the beachfront property. Amid the panic, Mick chases down Buddy Barnes, convinced the ex-surfer knows more than he's revealed. Their confrontation on the smoldering sands reveals a shocking twist. Buddy confesses that Calhoun's death wasn't planned. It was an accident during a heated argument about the land deal. But once Calhoun was dead, Buddy covered it up to protect the investors and his own skin. Before Mick can process the confession, Loretta arrives with backup, arresting Buddy and securing the evidence. But the victory is bittersweet. The land deal is halted, the truth exposed, but the corruption runs deep. Powerful players still hold sway over Florida's future, and the environmental damage lingers. Fever Beach may have lost one developer, but the fight for the soul of the state is far from over. In the aftermath, Mick retreats to his beachside shack, nursing his bruises and reflecting on the madness that engulfed his once peaceful corner of paradise. Sierra's activism gains new momentum. The public outcry forces some politicians to resign, and Loretta's career finds redemption. Yet, the waves keep rolling in, indifferent to the chaos onshore. Carl Hiaasen's Fever Beach is a searing, satirical dive into the complexities of environmental exploitation, political corruption, and human greed, all wrapped in a fast-paced, entertaining mystery. His writing crackles with biting humor, sharp dialogue, and a deep affection for Florida's wild beauty, even as he skewers those who seek to destroy it for profit. The novel is more than a whodunit. It's a love letter and a warning, reminding readers that paradise is fragile and the fight to protect it never ends. With Fever Beach, Hiaasen proves once again that beneath the sunshine, sand, and surf, danger, absurdity, and heart collide in unforgettable ways.